Howdy, I'm Jacob. You're watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. As you know already, we are talking about the Bear Forest Knives Wood Butcher. This is going to be a full review, guys, because I've already used this knife more than I would for a first impressions video, actually considerably more. I also want to mention this knife was used before me by the gun-toting Minnesotan. He did a review and I'm going to link it up here. It's a really good video and he does really good content. So I want you to go check it out and subscribe. So this ended up being a bit of an adventure, a bit more than I had expected. And one of the reasons is, as you may have noticed, I was wearing totally different clothes in the first part of the video. I've been doing this over 2 days. Essentially what happened was I was ready to get my fire going. I had my little Mick wick lit and I was ready to rock and roll, and my camera died because it was so cold. Now in contrast to that, today it's rather warm. It's probably about 40 degrees and I couldn't even keep my wool sweater on. But I did a quick little channel update video that day instead on my cell phone. If you're interested in that, I'll probably try and link that here as well. Now, if I could do a cell phone video, why couldn't I freaking just finish the whole video? Well, I'm going to show you why right now. See here. Here we are. Nice fire. I've got no cell phone mount for my tripod. Didn't bring one out. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this blade. I'll throw up some basic specs here, and then we're going to talk about... Ow, come on, cuh. The blade, the handle, the sheath, and my overall impressions. So, the blade of this guy, the spine is square. We'll talk about that in a moment. You've got a nice big belly, and the blade has enough weight and size behind it to chop better than other knives in its class. It's got a good edge thickness. It is obviously saber ground, and it has held an edge well, and it also takes an edge well. Let's see here. I'm going to talk about this more in a moment, but I was able to get this thing licked right up when I got it with my pocket strap. I love pocket strap straps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the spine, the edge, the overall edge geometry. I mentioned the spine is sharp. It was more than sharp enough to do some good scraping. I will say that if you like to do scraping with two hands in an uncomfortable position, it's not always the safest bet to use the spine while scraping with two hands, for obvious reasons, no matter how you hold the knife. So a lot of people will use the spine instead of the edge to save the edge, okay? So it is sharp, plenty sharp for that. Now, I was not able to really strike the ferro rod off of the spine, and I don't think that I'll be able to focus well enough for you to see what I'm saying here, but you can feel a burr on this edge from me striking it, striking and striking and striking. It feels sharp. It has what feels like the perfect burr for just throwing flames. I've thrown flames off of a lot of Bear Forest knives before. The spines have always been excellent. So I can only report to you on my experiences this time. I do not know why I was not getting sparks, but it didn't make sense to me, so I started using the edge. We'll talk about the edge next here. Now, I do not recommend using your edge to strike your ferro rod. You will, to some degree, damage your edge. This edge held up fantastically. Super tough steel, great heat treat, barely a little roll, and after I get done talking here real quick, we're gonna see if I can't get the roll out and get the sharpness right back, right here in the field with that pocket strap. But as soon as I used the edge, boom, we're throwing sparks fantastically, and we had the fire going. Yesterday I was not going to use the ferro rod, really, because I already know that Bear Forest knives throw fire, and I was just going to use the mick wick. And I decided today that I needed to go ahead and demonstrate it, and I'm glad I did, and because it didn't go like I thought that it would, but I can't tell you why right now, so it's not the most useful information. So anyways, the edge, heck yeah, it threw sparks. It sharpened right back up. I'm surprised at how little damage we did to the edge. Obviously no damage from batoning. Feather sticked fantastically, especially today. Yesterday I was having a hard time. It's a lot colder and I was wearing gloves. I'll talk about gloves in this knife in a moment when we talk about the handle. But this is an excellent blade profile, an excellent blade geometry for getting a good amount of chopping power without the additional length or encumbrance that normally can potentially come with a chopper. That I'm not sure if I'd consider this a chopper. I probably would consider this a medium-sized knife that can chop, and I would say one of the few. It chops exceptionally well for its size, but if I need a dedicated chopper, this isn't what I'm going to go for. If I need to do some chopping and this is what I've got, we can do some work. So let's go on to talk about the handle. Hope you can see that. I can't feel in my fingers the edge right now. I don't know if it's because it's cold or because I've been working or using it or whatever. So I did the hair test. I hope that you could see that the hair was in there, but there is no visible edge damage whatsoever and no remaining rolling whatsoever. I used all right in here, and I don't see any chips, and all rolling has come out with a quick use on the strop. That is exceptional. It really is. How little rolling there was mixed with how quickly the edge came back really says a lot about how good the edge holding is on this knife and the ease of sharpening. So there you go on that. That's really a big deal. I mean, that's really a big deal. I really like the handle on this knife. Obviously, we've got a beautiful OD green burlap micarta, beautiful pins. I really like the handle. This is generally what I call a broomstick handle, although this one is slightly modified. I call it a broomstick handle because it reminds me a little bit of the old World War II German pistols. The broomstick handle is fairly common. It's most common with knives like LT Wright and Battle Horse or Blind Horse or whatever. I like how Bear Forest does it a little bit better though, because the taper from the hand up to the pommel is a little more significant. Makes it fairly secure. So I mentioned that I would talk about the gloves. I was wearing wool gloves, as you guys will have seen. It's about as thick a gloves as I like to wear, and I only wear them when it's cold, and I'm located here in Kentucky, so 355 days out of the year, if I'm out here working, I'm not going to be wearing gloves. But when I am, they are slippery. The only time, you know, people always say, oh, well, this knife handle was designed to be used with gloves. In my opinion, if you need to wear gloves for a knife handle to be comfortable, it's not a comfortable handle. However, like the Kraton material and a few other handles and stuff, they are nice with gloves, and in my experience, a lot of handles that are nice without gloves are a little bit slick with gloves on, especially wool. And that was the case for this guy. I was doing a little bit of chopping, and I had to use a little bit more grip pressure than I would have liked. When I was feather sticking, my fingers here wanted to kind of slide and bunch up into each other as I was using my force, and that has a lot to do with how I use my knives. But this is a very versatile handle, and if you probably wear leather gloves, it's probably fine. In my opinion though, if you wear gloves all the time, I kind of think you're crazy, but buy a handle designed for gloves. For everybody else, when you're wearing gloves, just know that you might have to make do a little bit. Anyways, that's a lot to say instead of just, I like the handle. Before I finish out here, you'll notice there are no hard lines here. This is a good bushcraft design. It's different than a lot of what you see. There's no choil, there's no sub-hilt, there's no crazy stuff. Everything is smooth, and that's nice when you're working with it for a long time because it's not going to cause hot spots. And like I said, the only time where I like most of that stuff, or one of the times I like most of that stuff, is when I am wearing gloves. So for instance, when I was wearing gloves, my hands were slipping, I kept feeling myself wanting to go for a choil, which obviously would make for a very bad day. But very smooth. There's just not a lot to wear on your hands here, and so it's a good deal. All right, guys, final thoughts. Real quick, couple things. I thought that I did enough work today that I wasn't going to end up needing the Mick at all. I ended up fiddle-farting around long enough that it was in fact the Mick that saved the day once again. I know you guys will be asking about my loadout, so we have butt tarp by Tarp Smiths. My silky saw is definitely my favorite saw in a Leonidas custom gear pouch. I love this pouch because I always keep the knife in the pouch. I always put the saw back into the pouch, and I'm not going to lose the doggone pouch. Really neat product, and you can safety cord it. Carried my stuff out in a Hidden Woodsman haversack. Stand Strong Art patch. Love it. Gallon of water. Pocket strap. I'm still going to strap the edge back, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to actually be inserting that into the edge part of the video before this, so you'll already know that. The ferro rod here, this was made by Tracy Wilson. She was a wonderful and talented lady, and I wish we still had her today. So that's all I've got, guys, on gear, but my overall assessment of the product, I think Bear Forest knives, first off, this is a custom knife, and the quality per dollar is ridiculous. This is not a show knife. This is not a show finish. This is not the knife that Blade Show is gonna pick for one of their awards of the year. You know, those people that use mammoth and mammoth tooth and all that crazy stuff. This is a working man's knife. It's very well made. I'm going to continue using it a bit, and I'm going to do an update on this video for the spine because I'm really not sure what's going on with that. I'm probably just going to clean it up, try and strop it, and see if we can't throw some good sparks. So I will do an update video on that. This knife's a crazy value. In a world where everything's made by machines in mass, Garrett, the owner of Bear Force Knives, is making knives in good quantities by hand and selling them at really good prices. I couldn't sell these at this price. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my nose. Man, I don't know, like when I think of like that stained up, like look at this thing. This isn't something I should be proud of, I'm sure. It's stained. It's got a nice finish on it. It's got a stained looking finish on it from the factory, but you can see where I've been batoning with it. We've got wear on it. You can see a bit of orange on there, a bit of rust just from having used it in the snow the past couple of days and stuff. I will clean this up. But that's how I think of this knife. Just a doggone working tool the way that they used to be made. And I'm a big doggone fan. That's about it. I'm sure I forgot a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, I'll be going back to this knife at least one more time. I might be shipping it out to another buddy to review. We'll have to see about that. But if you enjoyed this video in this format, let me know in the comments section below. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs down you can't see anymore, which is disappointing. I guess I can tell you now. All of my videos have always gotten thumbs downs, and usually I'd get 2 to 10 thumbs down, but I thumbs down every one of my own videos. Not only because I hate my videos, but also because I felt like it helped the algorithm, so that was me, partially. A lot of videos, I was the only thumbs down. But, you know, people would ask, well, I don't know. My nose is just going crazy. Anyways, hope you all have a blessed day. Again, I'll talk to you in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe, share the video if you enjoy it. Link to Bear Force Knives in the description box below. It's bearforceknives.com. It kills me. People are always like, link, 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 link. And it's like, in the amount of time that you spent asking for a link, you could have Googled Bear Force Knives and you would have found it. I don't get it personally. Like I never like look for links. I'll just go to Google. I never even open the description box unless I really need to find something. But you know, anyways, it is what it is. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And once again,